Hello, and why there is no webcam? Jesus Christ. Nice start. Okay, it works.
There we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 0 of one of the shittiest podcasts you will ever hear about. Hello, DVD. Hello, Ansin. How are you guys?
Okay, so the thing is, I'm supposed to do a little speech here. Not really, but I want to.
Not really.
As you can see, yeah, I'm going to use speech to talk because this is gonna be just annoying. But yeah, I think this is gonna be really fun. This is a new thing. This is the first time I'm doing something like this,
Same.
and I hope you guys really enjoy.
Good. How
So
about you,
I'm-
DVD?
Like, I don't know what to say. Hi, everyone.
Look, I want to say to the chat, look at the difference between my setup, Ansin setup, and DVD setup, and guess who is the pro here?
Well,
Sorry.
only like I spent like $100 more than you guys, so I don't know.
I am poor, sorry.
Like, I don't know. Like, Italian mic and Italian camera are not that good as Germans. Like, I don't know.
Okay, how are you guys in chat, by the way? Is everything okay? Can you see everything good? Is volume okay? Please, this is beta version of Abandonware. If we keep calling us like that, I guess we are not sure.
Yeah, I'm watching the stream. It looks really good. I don't think there's a problem with the audio nor the video.
Okay, so the topic today, as the fucking title that I put in the top, is how we started video fucking gaming, aka the most useless bullshit. I'm joking. I'm joking. So as a test, we want just to talk about. I can see Ansin. Please make me unsee him. You can't ban him from Discord. So yeah, we are just going to speak about how we started video gaming, how we grow up with video games, and which game is like the game that changed our point of view about video game, and you know, stuff like that. Basically, we just rant about video game for 1 hour, and we will see what will happen. So anyone wants to start? Like DVD, you took notes. Maybe you have any idea?
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, DVD, you go.
If you want, I mean, I can go. I don't care.
Like, I don't know how to start this, actually.
Like, let's ask some question. Like, which was the first game that you actually played on your life?
Well, I began playing PC games like summer 1999, so I was like 6 years old or something like that.
Oh, nice.
But before the PC, I actually had something like this. This is the original Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh my god.
For the Amiga 1200, I think.
Fucking good.
It's missing the manual actually, but there are all the 11 thingies in here. Floppies. Yeah,
floppies.
1 megabyte per floppy. That's yeah, that's something. That was actually my very first video game ever, and I think it's one of the it may be one of the easiest to start with, because you just press buttons, like mashing buttons in a fighting game, and you can do anything. Like, you can win. Yeah, it's not a console. I think the Commodore Amiga 1200 is more like a personal PC, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's Commodore.
Totally.
So in terms of console gaming, I once owned a Game Boy with some of those extremely hard games like Mario Land and What was it, like,
Mario Land Dancing.
like a
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that.
I was trying to get a game.
I mean, those handheld games are pretty hard, in my opinion. Like the Smurfs games and the, like, I don't know what games, Gargoyles games, or some anime games. I think the handheld consoles had pretty tough games, and one of those tough games actually got ported onto the Commodore Amiga 1200, which was a game that maybe some of the viewers might know. It's a game called Rick Dangerous. This is a game where you have to beat like 5 stages, and there are all kinds of trial and error stages. Like, there are 2 ladders, you go down one and you die, and you go the second one, you live, and that's all there is to it. Basically, there are enemies running around. It's a typical trial and error game.
Okay.
Those were like one of the few games I played with like 5 years old. Then I changed to the PC.
Master Race!
Yeah, pretty much. I never owned a console after that, so, like, I don't know. The very first PC game, like the first PC game, was actually Little Big Adventure 2.
Oh my god.
I saw my brother and my father sitting on Citadel Island, and it was raining, and they didn't know what to do. And I was like, "Come on, give me that game." I tried my best, and I pretty much sucked shits through a straw. I was just bad at this game. The tank controls and everything. It was not a fun game at first. It's actually not a fun game up to that point. Like the speedrun is fucking horrible.
At least I'm not the only one saying that.
Well, it is a fairly tough game in my opinion. The first game is harder, in my personal opinion, when it comes to like death traps and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. The first game is harder.
Yeah, probably
Yeah, I
even
think
because the controls and everything is a little bit more chunky.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Then one of the next games, that was before the rating system, by the way. So I think in Germany the rating system was introduced in like 2002 or 2001, I don't know. My second game on the PC was actually Turok 2, which was a shooter game, and it was a pretty brutal one, at least the uncut version.
That was the game you were playing yesterday, right?
Yes, exactly. It had decapitations, it had some blood splattering all over the place, and I played it with the age of 6.
Nice.
Nice.
And I don't think that was like, I don't know, like when I was 6, I was like, okay, the head flew off and there is blood hanging from the walls. But I was like, okay, so that's the way it goes sometimes. Not in real life though.
It
but,
happens, yeah.
yeah.
What can you do? People die.
Yeah, that was pretty much my beginning of playing on a PC or video games in general. I played some old RPG games like the Might and Magic games, some sports games like some FIFA games in the early 2000s, but that's all there is to it. Basically.
Okay. It's a fucking good start to do video games, I guess. Really fucking hardcore games. Well, what about you, Ansin?
Okay, so I also started playing games. I was mainly a PC guy. At the time, we didn't have any money to buy consoles. We were in a really tough situation. So I had an IBM. I remember. It was really fun to go there and just. It didn't even. Oh fuck! Here we go again.
Yeah, sorry
And-
for Ansin microphone.
Yeah. My mic is kind of fucked, but the PC didn't have Windows, so every time I boot it up, it was like it runs DOS, and I had like a full directory of all games. And even though it was like 1999, and there were like pretty there were new games with all these graphics and stuff, but I was still playing old early 90s games and maybe late 80s games. And I had a lot of options to choose from, and I remember the two games that I played the most were, I think it was Warcraft 1.
Jesus
That's when I
Christ.
met Blizzard. Yeah, I played the shit out of Warcraft. And that's why I really like strategy games like RTS and stuff. And then I also remember playing a lot of educational games. That's when I started learning English, because at the time there was like pretty much play and guess, because I have no idea what the game said. And I was just trial and error. Okay, this works, this doesn't.
Educational
And
games, you mean bullshit like complete the sentence or translate the
yeah,
word?
they were like kid puzzles and maybe some karaoke games so you can learn how to fucking speak in English. It was really weird. So, but they were fun. They had fun little games. But the first PC game that I really enjoyed and I spent most of my childhood playing was LBA 2 also. And that's when I think I really started enjoying RPGs in general, because it had a backstory, that a character progression, you could say. And I think that was the most influential game at that time, because after that I was looking for something similar, right? I started looking for um, maybe not third person RPGs, but most of them had to add like a good backstory, and that was one of my main um, genres to play, at least in games. And I also, even though that was the main game at the time, I remember playing like a lot of FPS too, like Doom, for example, Wolfenstein,
Wolfenstein,
and
Jesus.
yeah, that were really old games. And yeah, that was the most influential game and the one that I played the most back then.
I see, I see. So I
That's
guess it's my turn unless DVD has some question to answer.
I have to say, actually, those old, like, I don't know how it was in other countries, but here in Germany, they actually did a very good job at bringing like toys like Playmobil or Lego. They made a bunch of video games out of that, and they were like educational games for the most part. But I think they made a great job. There are some games that are pretty crappy, but
for sure.
like how can you market, like do the marketing for an educational game for kids? Like how would you do that? Like, hey, you can play 1+1. So I don't know.
You can have a lot of fun with math. Yeah, buy our game.
I mean, they failed pretty much with those, like, what was the name for the PlayStation era stuff? Was it like a lifespan or something like that? They made like a bunch, like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 games for the PlayStation, and they marketed for schools that the little kids can play on a PlayStation while at school and try to learn something about it. But it was fucking horrible.
I also, that's a good question, because I don't think there was really a way to sell those games like a really big title or something. It was like they felt really underground, because I remember my father at the time, he worked in a company that made all this computer stuff, and he used to bring all these floppy disks and maybe a CD now and then with new games or demos and all shit. And there normally came with a manual or something. It was like an extra or of a thing you buy from PC parts or something like that. We also were subscribed to a magazine at the time. I think it was called OKPC. It was pretty popular in Latin America, and they had like a tons of CDs with demos and old games. And that was, I remember I had one. It was a purple one, and it was full of demos. I found the picture the other day, but I don't think if I can show it to Mike, because it was really hard to find it. Maybe I'll search it in a bit and I'll show it. But that game had a lot of demos that I really liked. One of them was Supercards. I don't know if you guys know that game. It was an old racing DOS game, and there were a lot of cool RPGs too. There was I think there was Zack McCracken. Maybe Maniac Mansion was also there. What else? Commander Keen was also there.
Commander Keen. What a
Yeah,
fucking
that
piece of
game.
legend.
I was also a really big fan of platformers. I played all kinds of platformers back then, and yeah, I think the only way you could really get to know these games are like by luck, pretty much, because they weren't on sale like in a big title or something.
Yeah.
And most of them were really unknown at the time, and I just happened to know them because of my father, pretty much.
I see. Well, I guess it's my turn. So first of all, I need to say that I live in a place where most of the people is a moron. So that's how my story needs to be started. So my first approach with video games was in a pub. Well, it's not a pub, it's like a really shitty pub where usually my parents went with their friends to drink a few beers. And they had a few arcade games, and the guy who brought the arcade games there was like, I guess, a hacker, because I'm pretty sure he was like running a MAME emulator or something like that. It was a game where you can choose a lot of games. There was a big list. Maybe one of the first version of MAME or something before MAME, I don't know. So, but I was really young, probably 5 or 6 years old, and I didn't understand shit about. So I was like choosing a game, smashing the buttons, and I was just hypnotized by the lights and all the stuff. And I was like, oh my god.
Might having seizures back then.
Basically, yes. The first game was like a driving game that, if I remember correctly, it was called Badlands, and it was a top-down driving game with a steering wheel, and it was like just one screen with all the circuit, usually a 8 or a loop, and you can also shoot. And I remember that I was so good at it, well, not that good, but better than the fucking morons that were playing there, as I said, that I usually had like 3 or 4 people around me watching, and I was like swearing in a really childish way, like you know, melon head, and that kind of insult to my opponents. I was like, oh, you melon head, get away from me. And it was probably my first title that I remember. But usually when people ask me about that, my first game was actually Super Mario Bros. For SNES, and my uncle brought it, and when I went to his house, he was like, hey, take a look at this. And I was, oh, are you telling me that I can play video games without spending quarters into the arcade cabinet? Are you for real? That's cool. And since that day, I'm pretty sure I annoyed my parents a lot. Like, I was every day saying, let's go to Uncle House, please. And I was so hyped. That game was good. And there was another game, but my childish brain is formatted, so I really don't remember. Because it was like a futuristic game, but I'm not sure if it was any...
Was it a platformer?
Yeah, platformer. But I'm not really sure if it was Metroid. Not sure at all. I can't remember anything about that game because I was just playing Super Mario a lot. I was just playing that. So since I got my first approach with video games, and that's why I needed to say that everyone in here is a moron, I started asking for games. And so my first, the first thing that I asked was, can I please have a computer, please? Everyone was having the first DOS computers. And I was like, I want one too. Give me one, please, parents, please, thank you. And
Give me, please, give me, please.
And instead of a fucking EBM or anything, they gave me an Amstrad CPC 64 that was like, it's not really a bootleg, but it was a bootleg from the Commodore 64. And I remember spending a lot of time playing Trashman. That is a game about a trashman that need to... Basically, it was a screen with a trash truck. You need to go house by house, pick up the trash, throwing it into the truck, and that's all the game, basically. And I spent a lot of time in it. And I started also learning a little bit about BASIC, the programming stuff. So I spent a lot of time in there. So after there, I played all the game that I had in cassette, and I was like, all my friends were, Mike, you need to see this. It's called PlayStation. It's so fucking great, Mike. You really need to have one. Mom, can you please buy me a PlayStation? We already have PlayStation at home. And my PlayStation at home was one of those bootlegs console with 9,999 games. We have PlayStation.
Which in reality were like 5 games and then...
I actually remember, because it was a big trauma when I discovered that it was the same game. They were 9 games. 9 games, and every 9 game was like cracked or modified in a different way, like different colors and stuff. And that was my Polystation. That's why they got trolled. They searched for PlayStation and they got a Polystation.
Yeah, I also had one of those.
And they actually changed a console, because I was breaking every console like in a month. It was really cheap, but also I was using one console a month. And I was like, I need a real console. Please buy me the real PlayStation. They went to buy a PlayStation and they came back with a Nintendo 64.
That's something, right?
Good enough, I guess. Good enough, I guess, because I discovered my first really hardcore game that I played, Super Mario 64. I spent, if I remember correctly, a full year to fully complete the game, 120 stars and 11 hidden stars. And it's actually the first time that I cried in a video game. When I beat Bowser, I started crying. When I saw Peach, I was like, oh my god, I did it. I am a fucking legend. And yeah, that's the first game that I fully mastered in that way. And to go into a PC, I need to wait at least another, I guess, 5 years. And I got my first Windows XP Home Edition, 32-bit and stuff. And the first game that I got was FIFA. Jesus fucking Christ, that's so depressing. But as Unseen...
Do you remember what year?
Yes, 2001. FIFA 2001 and Tiger Woods PGA Tours 2001. It was a bundle. With the PC, you get these 2 games. And as Unseen, I discovered some monthly magazine that were selling games at 9, well, not even euros. We got lire back then. It was before euros. And but for 9 euros, they gave me a fucking good game basically every month. I got, I don't know, randomly named Half-Life, Deus Ex, GTA 2 actually. I got GTA 2 in one of those magazines. A shit ton of game that, well, every now and then there was a shitty game, you know, like Sheep. That was a game where you need to move around sheep, and it was really shitty. But yeah, since the PC era, I started really loving video games. I discovered all the legend like Quake and all the big games. And
Quake, dude,
yeah, Quake, dude. I remember me and my friends playing in my friend's house. We were like 6 people connected in LAN playing Quake 3 for all the day. Nice. Basically, I remember my friends came back from school around 2 p.m. 3 p.m. Well, a little bit off topic, but 3 p.m. we were smoking weed, and since 4 p.m. We were grinding Quake until 1, 2 in the morning, non-stop. Fucking good, really
Damn.
fucking great.
I remember I really wanted to play most of my old games on LAN at least, but first of all, we only had one PC, and second of all, by the time I got the second PC, it was like it was a really big problem in order to connect all the both PCs, because the connection at the time was really shit. The cables were shit, and I had a cousin that usually played games with me. Pelotti, you know him, Mike.
Oh yeah, I know.
And
The
yeah,
big
he's my
Pelotti.
cousin, and we grew up playing games together, but we spent a lot of time trying to get it to work, and I'm not really sure if we really played Quake in LAN. I think we played mostly Warcraft and maybe Doom.
Doom
No.
1.
No. I'm trying to remember which game. Duke Nukem 3D. Yeah, I remember that.
Craig
We were playing Duke Nukem, and I think most games that supported LAN connection, because whenever we got to the point where we could play something on LAN, it was already like what 2005 maybe, and most of those games were obsolete at the time. And we were trying to get the newer games in order to play, but we really couldn't. But yeah, talking about Quake, I remember it was like the 3D Doom at the time, and I also got really hyped of that game. I never really finished it. I never finished like most of the games. It was very few games that I finished, and one of them was obviously LBA, and I think the other one was what was the name of this game? Okay, to be honest, maybe that was the only game I finished. But it was real fun to play Quake online. I remember you had the ability to change your character, right? You could customize it and shit.
In where? In Quake?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Quake.
you can pick your character, and there are a few. I usually play it as the eye or the skater.
You have like, I think it was one of the few games that had online customization, at least the ones that I played, because most of the time you just pick a default character and then you go and play, and that's it. But in Doom and Quake, you had the ability to change your colors, to choose the I think the model in Quake maybe. I don't recall that much, but it was real fun. I think that's Quake Tournament, right? The
Yeah,
one
Quake 3
you're
Arena.
showing on the screen. Yeah, I played an older version of that. Not really played
Maybe you played Quake 3
Quake Tournament.
and not Arena. But that's my character.
Quake 2 maybe? It was really old. It looked like a literally 3D Doom, but I don't remember exactly which one was it.
What about you, DVD? What was your first multiplayer experience, if you had, like LAN play or something similar?
So I was pretty lucky because my mom shed out like 5 kids, 4 of which was boys. So,
basically, you can add a LAN by yourself.
Yes, it was pretty much like that. Like one splitter in the middle and 4 cables in 4 different rooms, and then we went playing like Warcraft 3 and Age of Empires 2.
Oh
yeah,
nice game.
So yeah, all RTS games that I suck shit in. So yeah, but we played some old RPGs like the Baldur's Gate games or the Neverwinter Nights games. But the real first is like the first experience with multiplayer gaming, like esport. Back then there was a TV show on German television. It was called Giga Games. It ran from like 10 p.m. to 0, like to 12 p.m. so I couldn't watch it every time because I had to go to school like at 5 a.m. And they had a section with like Unreal Tournament, like esport stuff. And I was like, damn, this is fast, this is shooting stuff, this is splattering the shit all over the place. It was right up my alley. But I couldn't play it until like 2009, I think. So way after the whole stuff. But it was the first like experience I had with professional esport gaming. I just watched it, never played it, like in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much LAN parties, like the old Heroes games or Counter-Strike, like the old Call of Duty games.
Played a lot of Souls.
Yeah. Okay, but do you guys had like I don't know if other countries had it. Probably some of them had, but at least here we don't have an esports community at all. Like they don't take games seriously, but I know for a fact that there are some places that do, and they even have channels for it. But back then, it was really hard to find a really solid gaming community, given the fact that we also had like the worst internet ever, even worse than Sardinian internet. I don't know.
No, dude.
Really,
you can't say
really...
that because when you had bad internet, we didn't have internet at all. So.
Oh shit! Yeah, well, our internet was complete utter garbage, and it was really hard to connect with people. But I didn't get to know esports until like what, 2000 and maybe 10, 2011, something like that. But that was because I started searching for it. But I don't know about you guys. Do you think you had some gaming communities around your place, or what do you think?
We didn't have any of that. The pro gaming scene is getting better just in these years. We are having a few teams, but the real problem is Italian mentality on it. So far, every pro gaming scene is getting destroyed by his members, usually. Like, one of my friends, Kuzerti, sometimes you saw it in chat, tried to make a team for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And the team disbanded because one guy was arguing with another guy, and if he stays here, I don't want to play. Oh no, if he left, I will left too. No, call my friend is better. No, what the fuck? And the fucking team got dismembered. Usually doesn't last too long, unless we call about FIFA, I guess, or Age of Empires 2. We had a really great community about Age of Empires 2. And just to connect again to the in here there are only morons, one of my friends was actually in a really good level, so good that he was in the same level with Dark Viper. I don't know if you know the guys from Age of Empires 2.
Yeah.
Coccolino, all that people that are in the pro scene. My friend was actually wrecked at them really hard, but his parents
What was his
were...
name again?
Of my friend?
Yeah.
Back then was... oh fuck. I don't remember his nickname, give me a second. Trombodessa, I don't remember. It was a rude name in Italian. It was... translated was fuck and another name. Trombodessa, Trom something, I don't remember. But, of course, everything before, the pro scene went mainstream, so... after that, the parents were like, you spend too much time in the internet, go study something, and his career was over before even starting. It was just playing not pro games with them. What I wanted to say? No, I guess it's all. What about you, DVD? How's the situation in Germany?
For us, it was pretty much, over the internet, obviously. I never had something like an esport team. I wasn't quite interested in playing on a high top tier level. So I can't really say anything to that. there were some Germans in my class back then, like in 2008 question mark. They played the shit out of Call of Duty, and the Battlefield games, the old like Battlefield Vietnam or something like that.
Call of Duty,
I was-
aka Counter-Strike for kids. Sorry, I'm joking. Sorry, continue.
Well, I would agree if it's going for games that are after World at War. I think it might be another topic for this whole podcast at some point, but they played like the shit out of those games, and the problem with your situation with the guy with those guys that say, oh, I'm better and this guy, I won't play with this guy and this team and stuff like that. I think that's a problem with mentality. If you are on an esport team, you have to rely on your teammates and you have to play for the team. And if there's any like corruption within the team, you can basically throw the team in the garbage can. I learned that actually the hard way in Overwatch. I played Overwatch like competitively. I played some comp games, and every time we lost the game, there was like, oh, I would have done this if I played like, I don't know, like, should I have played this character, and they over analyzing that one match for like 3 hours, and nobody is like faulty, like, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And that's a big problem, and that's why that's why I don't want to play esport. I want to play for myself, pretty much, because I really can't rely on other players. Like if I fuck up, then I fuck up, and when the team fucks up, then I play as best as I can, and if there's any problem, then those people should talk to me about that.
Yeah.
And I'm not motivated enough to play on a high tier level.
Yeah.
Same.
So like dedicating my soul to that one game just to be good at it for basically nothing.
It's just yeah. I think there's a lot of time and effort put into a team like who really wants to play competitively and be good at it and have a nice feedback and work out of the problems. But sometimes, at least at the start, I don't think you get much from it. So it's like a lot of people that come together and really want to be good at the game. And if one of them really starts, I don't know, being lazy or doesn't want to cooperate, it's like you can fuck up everything. And sometimes that's frustrating because it's not on you. You can't do anything about it. And yeah, I think that's another reason why I don't think I'll fit in. If I'm good enough in one game, I don't think I can fit in a team because I'll get really frustrated if I can't, even if I'm trying to. Just even though there's probably not their intention to do bad, you're still relying on them.
Yeah.
And you really get to trust your teammates and all that stuff. So it's kind of I think it bothers me more than it makes me hyped about it. So yeah. And talking about a variety of games, I think that's another reason why I don't really I've known people that can play one single game and play the shit out of the game and play and go, and they're really good at it. They become like real pros. But given the backstory of playing like a shit ton of DOS games and trying every single demo that I had in my hands, it's like I think there's too much games to try, and I don't think I can focus in one single game. But I'm really amazed by people who can play only one game and that's it, and just do that. I think that I'm missing too much if I don't try everything I can. Because I remember at the time that I was also playing DOS games. I was also playing Counter-Strike when it was like 1.5, I think. That was the first time I saw the game.
Jesus Christ, 1.5 means really
yeah.
in the born of Counter-Strike.
Yeah. and my PC at the time couldn't really run it. So the only the only times that I could play that game was when I went to another cousin's house, and he was at the time he was competing in all tournaments. It was international tournaments. I don't what was the name? It was like World Cyber Games, I think.
Oh my
And he had
god, yes!
yeah, he had
Jesus
a team, World
Christ.
Cyber Games, and he was competing in Counter Strike at the time, and he was really good. He was the one who taught me how to play, and I think he also had, what was the other game? Well, in later those years, World of Warcraft was released, and he was also playing that competitively. So I think those were the two games that I really wanted to play the most, but I couldn't. One, because my PC couldn't handle them, and two, because, well, World of Warcraft has always been pay to play. So yeah, and I was just a little dancing. Oh man, let me play! I want to play! I want to try it again. So I was just an annoying little brat, but I was really hyped about those games. And I also remember, about playing Age of Empires a lot. That was another game that I really enjoyed, and I spent a lot of time playing that. At one time, I remember my father he was working in how do you call it? I don't know if you have these places in other countries. It's like a little place when you have a lot of computers, and it's kind of like an arcade, but you go and pay for an hour to use the computer, and it's pretty much to play games on online.
I know what are you talking about, but we don't have it here.
Like,
Yeah. I don't think it has
like an
like
internet cafe or something.
yes, something like that, but it's mainly for games.
Okay.
And then you go and play LAN tournaments or whatever. And my dad at the time, he was working in one of those, and he really liked the game. He also liked Age of Empires, so he told me, I'm gonna install this game in all the computers, and let's see if the people will like it. And they did. There was a lot of people that came. They were like really ragers. I remember there was this guy. He was a big ball of grease. He was like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna kill you!" he was. I don't know what was wrong with him, but every time I went, everyone was all quiet and focused on the game. And I went, "Yes, I fucked your town hall."
And all of this in Spanish, of course.
Yeah, in Spanish.
La mierda, el cabrón del puerco.
Yeah, he was saying like, "Te voy a cagar, maldito, vas a ver cómo te voy a..." And my father was okay, so apparently they liked the game. And I was like, you think?
Maybe. No shit.
They were
Watson.
really passionate about those games, and that's when I tried playing Age of Empires online too. But I really sucked. I only learned how to play it a little bit this year, because I was really casual with that game. But it was really fun. I remember having a lot of fun with that too.
Okay, after this topic, I have a new question for everyone. What was the relationship between video games and your parents? Did they play video games? Well, most of you said already something like your parents played something, but I'm really curious how your parents reacted for our video game addiction.
Okay.
Who wants to start?
So long term short, my mom hated it. my dad was okay. I mean, he bought the games and bought the consoles, PCs and stuff like that. But my mom was really like, holy fuck, like, like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It was pretty much that. Like I, at some point I was like waking up myself on like an hour before I normally would wake up, just to play video games before school or before kindergarten. And one day my mom stepped into my room to wake me, and I was too slow to like turn the PC off and stuff like that. And she was like, dude, what the fuck? Like I don't know. She didn't like it. The worst thing that happened to me with my mom, with PC, when it comes to video gaming and PC, was back then in like 2007. I had to on Steam. It says like something like 2006. I got an orange box for the Half-Life games and the Call of Duty, the
Oh,
Counter
you
Strike
have
games.
a physical copy?
Yeah,
Oh my
Actually,
fucking god.
right behind me in that this one. No, this one. And I needed internet to play, obviously, and yeah, I pretty much sneaked like 2 a.m. Into my dad's office, and he had internet, and I was downloading the game and playing it. Then my mom stepped in and was like, "Oh shit." Because Call of Duty and all the other FPS games had a bad reputation in 2006.
Yeah, they are violent.
Yeah, they are violent, killer
Yes.
games, and like right in that conversation, like in that whole thing and the whole topic, my mom stepped in and saw me playing CS 1.6 and was like, "Oh shit." So that
My
that
son
was
is learning how to kill people.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, don't go to school.
Instead of killing people, you just entered the school building screaming, "Go B, блядь! Go B!" Without killing anyone. Rush
You
B!
killed me on Dust 2.
Ah, damn.
But overall, they were both okay with that, I guess. So
Okay,
know.
okay. Well,
What about you, Mike?
it was kind of fun because my mother was always a little bit into technology and all that kind of stuff, but she's a fucking pussy. Like every time she tries something, if she fails, it's like, okay, it's not for me. I will not do it anymore. Go fuck yourself. Instead, my father always had like a heroin guy approach. When I got the Nintendo 64 and I was playing it, it was staring at me and at the television. But if I turn around and watch him, he was like watching me like this, and then, no, I'm looking for the bread. Yeah, I'm doing stuff. I don't care. And I remember one day, it was probably middle school. Well, basically, I went home from school a little bit early, like probably 1 hour early or 2 hours. When I entered the kitchen where I was playing with the Nintendo, I found my father playing Super Mario 64 with a fucking drug addict addiction face, like. And I reacted like a mother that found out that his daughter is fucking a guy. I was, what the fuck are you doing? And he was like, I'm just trying. Yeah, you play. Take it. And I tried to like explain something to him, like you want to learn how to play, you want to, finish the game. No, I don't care. I was just joking around. A few days later, he entered while I was playing. He entered the kitchen and he said to me, please tell me, what the fuck do you want? How do you beat Bomb Bomb? What? Are you still playing Super Mario without my permission?
He was really hyped about that game, I can tell.
Yeah, I loved it, but it was too manly to admit that a grown man can have fun with video games. It was always like, no, it's stupid, but deep inside his heart, it was like, this shit is funny. Sometimes I convinced him to play multiplayer games. Like, I remember I had a soccer game for Nintendo 64, and every time I wrecked him like 12-0, but, it was just like, play with me, father and son bullshit. I didn't give a fuck actually. I just wanted to play without him bothering me. But yeah, and after a while they totally changed their mind, and every day it was like, Mike, please get away from the computer, get out, please stop. That computer is killing you. And last thing that I will say, then Ansin can answer the question. I remember one day when my mother used the quote, video games makes you violent. I was playing with the computer, and as I said, I usually play really fucking hardcore games like Quake, Half-Life, Soldier of Fortune. I mean, blood, killing people, yeah, motherfucker! Always that kind of game. My mother entered the room, looked at me with this fucking surrendered face, like, you are a disgrace for me. And because television was starting trash talking video games, she looked at me and say, well, just to let you know, television told me that video games makes you violent. So can you please take a break? I stared at him, I turned at the monitor, and I was playing fucking The Sims. Imagine being violent while playing The Sims. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm building an house and trying to have a family. Where is the violent part? Jesus Christ.
Bring a beer to family, Mom.
Mom,
leave me alone.
I'm grinding for a family.
Mom, I can't build a family in real life, so I have to play The Sims.
Well, actually, I was young, so Mom, I can't have a boner to have a daughter, so I'm trying in a video game. So, Ansin, your turn.
I don't remember what it is about moms and video games, but it was pretty much the same in my house. Like, my father was the one who really liked games, and my mom was like, "What the fuck are you doing playing this game? You should be studying." What the? I was, Mom, really? Like, at least I was the only child, so I didn't have anyone to play with. I was bored with my toys, so I really enjoyed playing a little bit in the PC. And every week almost, my father came in from work, and he was like, "Yo, I have this new game. You want to check it out?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go check it." And he was the one bringing the games, and I was more than happy to play them. But my mom wasn't so happy about it. She was always like, at first she was like, oh, you're playing video games, right? You're playing? Okay, you have
Son,
like
are you
half an
winning?
hour. Yeah, no. She was like, you have half an hour, and then go do other stuff. And if I wasn't listening to her, yeah, I usually played at midnight too. Like, I waited until everyone was asleep, and then it was like, okay, 1 a.m. I sat on the computer, I started playing all night long, and then I started listening to the fucking birds outside, like. And I looked from the window. Oh shit! It's already morning. and they didn't realize. And I went to sleep. It was like 10 minutes, and then they knocked my door and said, "Okay, wake up! It's time to school." So, I didn't have any time to. Yeah, I didn't have any time to sleep, because I spent all the night playing video games. And on weekends, it was the funniest because I did the same. And I remember I didn't have a way to lock my own door. So it was always open even though it was closed.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't like that I locked my room because I had the PC in my room. And I think I already had internet at the time, but I really didn't use it. I was mainly playing video games, and that's it. And I remember a lot of times, since I lived with my parents and my grandparents, my grandma usually woke up, and I don't know what is it about her ear, but she listens like 2 kilometers away. Whatever tiny noise you make, she's like, "Oh, what's that?" So
Typical grandma.
yeah, I was in the middle of the night playing, and I think she heard because I was using a mechanical keyboard, so it sounded like
Click, 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 click.
and yeah, she didn't say anything, but I think sometimes she snitched to my mom.
Oh.
And then I didn't hear it. And my mom came barging into the room and, "What the fuck are you doing up at this time?" and I was like, everything was off, like the lights were off, and I was like, nothing. Turn that shit right now and go to sleep. And she wasn't really she wasn't really into technology. So what I would do was like I would turn off the monitor, and I would say something like, "Okay, I'm already turning off the PC. You can go to sleep now." And she's like, "No, turn it off now." And I would, it's turning off. Trust me, it's turning off. I'm going to sleep. I stand up. I I walked to my bed. I walked to my bed, and she was like, "I can still hear the noise, and the light is on from the PC. What are you doing? This is on." It was like, "No, I trust me, mom. I'm turning it off. It takes just a little bit of time. The PC is just slow. Go to sleep." And she was like, she didn't know if she should trust me or not. So she was like, "Okay, go to sleep." And she went back to her room, and then I stand up again and turn on the monitor and kept playing until the morning. And yeah, that was pretty much every 2 days or so, until she found out, because my dad told her. Because one day my dad was the one who came in, and yeah, he knew his computer stuff, so he was like pretty much the same speech. But the thing that he did was like he took out the power cable.
Oh, fuck.
And yeah, he took it to his room and locked it in God knows where. So I couldn't even turn on the PC. So that was the time that I couldn't play in the middle of the night. But he was doing only because my mom was being a pain in the ass in the middle of the night. He was like, "Hey, go tell Ansi to turn the PC off," and he was like, "Please let me sleep." I don't. So he had no options really.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was. I remember I spent a lot of years playing in the middle of the night doing. Yeah, pretty much the same.
About shutting down the PC, I have a really fun story on how I crashed my first computer, the Amstrad CPC. I got grounded. I don't even remember for what. It was probably something about school, and they did the same. They took the power cable from the computer, and in the Amstrad, the power cable was connected to the keyboard, and the keyboard was connected to the monitor, and basically the monitor had power through the keyboard. So they took that cable, but
Wait, how does that work?
I don't even know. Do I look like someone that knows shit about hardware? And I remember in the monitor there was a little hole. I'm telling you as I remember when I was a kid. There was an hole, and there was a little text with 9V. Okay, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is a power hole. I need to plug something here, and I can play the computer again. So I searched in house for a power cable, and I found one. So I went like, okay, let's see if it enters. It enters. Okay, let's plug it to the power. I plugged the fucking cable,
Oh no!
and my monitor went. Pa! Silence and smoke. Silence and smoke, and I was like, fuck. They gave me back the cable.
I think it's on now.
It was on for like probably 2 seconds. After a few days, I guess, that was my ground time. My parents went, okay, this is the power cable, you can play again. No, mom. Actually, I don't want to play the computer anymore. I kinda don't want. And I went like that a few times, and then my father looked at me and said, "You broke the computer, right?" Yes. I got grounded again because I was lying. You fucking idiot! What the fuck? How did you broke it? Well, that was the power cable. I just plugged it in, and that's all. Basically, I wasted my computer like that.
Yeah. What about you, DVD? Did you ruin your computer back then?
It was not the computer, but I played a game back then. I think it was Sacred, but I'm not sure. It was some RPG game, and I haven't saved for like, I don't know, like 5 hours or something. So I went pretty far, and
Oh no.
and it was in the middle of the night, and my mom stepped in and was like, oh, "Are you playing again? Like, try to sleep next time or something like that." And I was like, "Okay, I will turn the PC off and I'll go to bed." And she looks at me like stone faced. I don't trust you. You're telling bullshit. So like I call bullshit on that. I was like, no, mom, please. I'm going to bed. Turn it off. Everything is fine. But I forgot to save. She was like, I don't trust you anymore. She's pulling off that power strip. I was like, no. She was like,
And rip all progress.
that was like five hours progress in a fucking role playing game. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Imagine playing like Skyrim or something and just grinding all those missions for 5 hours straight, and
And you made me remember that my mom also used to do that. But then, if it wasn't my mom, it was the electricity in my home. It was really sketchy, so sometimes it just randomly blew up, and I lost all the things that I was doing at the time. It was really annoying.
Okay, so I have a few chat messages that I want to read because someone shared his timeline on video games. So, for example, we have Marco that is born in 88. And first thing that I got was a Game Boy. Fucking, I'm so envious. I never had a Game Boy. Old Super Mario and the 6 coins. Mario, Tetris. Wait, I got my first SNES. Jesus, so envious with some games. Mario Kart, Kirby, Terranigma. I don't know that game. Secret of Mana, Lufia. Later, Nintendo 64 was okay. Don't like the trash 3D graphic. Jesus Christ.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer. My first on PC I buy with 16, I think it was my World of Warcraft time. We have a topic about Blizzard, but not for today.
Please a ranting coming.
let's keep the ranting for the day. But also some GTA 2 and Age of Empires 2. Then Kadin, aka Zoomer time. Let's see. He also said Zoomer from 2005 in 2010 was playing Mario and Dirt like game. After 3-4 years I got Grid and Lego Batman first and second. Also Transformer, Fall from the Cybertron. Unpopular opinion, Transformer is gay. Velvet Assassin. Then I was 11 and played my first Assassin's Creed and Saints Row 4. So yeah, kinda Zoomer setup is not an insult, but all new games basically. Let's see.
Yeah.
Anskita had a Dreamcast, really good console in my opinion. Let's see, let's go down. GT never had LAN parties because he didn't have any friends. Don't worry, GT, we'll love you anyway.
Pepe.
Let's go down. Let's see if anyone shared anything about his history on video games. No, apparently no. Let's go down. Okay. No, apparently no. So again, meanwhile we probably keep talking about, I don't really know. Do you guys have any question that you want to ask to boomers like us about, but keep the topic, like keep the what you played or stuff like that. I don't know. Any question, but keep the topic.
Did you guys start playing FPS games with the ball mouse? Like, okay, so I think when I started playing FPS games, I wasn't really playing for real. Like, I was really casual, but I was using a mouse with the little ball behind because all my setup overall was old as fuck. Like, it was probably 2007 or 6, and I was still using an IBM and a fucking mouse with a ball below. And they weren't accurate at all, and it was really hard playing those. But given the games that I was playing, I wasn't really playing Counter-Strike. I was playing more like Quake and Doom and all those old FPS. So it wasn't really a problem. But I think I still have one of those in the, I don't know where, but I don't have it right now. But I still have one of those.
Yeah, same for me. I started with the ball mouse. There was no other alternative, just a ball mouse. And I remember like how much was painful. Like you were playing and you started missing every shot. Then you need to screw the fucking piece of plastic, remove the ball, put the ball into alcohol. Then with a fucking toothpick, you need to remove all the dust from the wheels inside. Some alcohol, some how the fuck is called to clean the ears that stick with the cotton in top.
Clean the Q-tips.
Yeah.
Cleaning everything like a fucking, like a doctor watching and try again. And then it was too smooth. So the mouse was like running around the screen too fast and you needed to wait to have some dust to be better.
I remember once I thought those balls were really like a rubber ball or something. I was like, oh shit, maybe I can play with this. And I threw it onto the ground and it fucking cracked the floor because it was so heavy.
Yeah.
It made a fucking crack. I thought it would bounce, but it didn't.
What was your mouse DVD?
So the question was like if you played FPS games with a ball mouse. Thankfully, I haven't. I played with the ball mouse. Like we had two different ball mouses here in Germany. The one that was common was that like when the ball is down here, and it was one where the ball was up here.
Oh, the trackball.
Yeah, the trackball.
Jesus.
And
oh, I never tried those.
It's wonderful.
It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I can remember playing like point and click adventure games back then, and I was like just to search for some items. And it wasn't working at all, and you couldn't even like detach the ball and just clean everything up. So once it was fucked, it was fucked. I had those at the beginning, but then I tried the normal ball mouse, and for some reason it wasn't holding the ball in place up down here. I don't know if it was broken or something.
It doesn't seem practical at all. It's like it's more uncomfortable now that I think about it. More than, I don't know, what was it used for? I don't think it was useful in games, or was it?
Like those where the ball is
the trackball.
Yeah, the trackball.
I think it was just for some ergonomic bureau mouse stuff. I don't know.
Actually,
but how would you grab it? Like,
no. Actually, you grab it as a normal mouse, but
yeah, it's like this, and you move. It's like you move your hand, and the mouse is moving. Like you're not moving the mouse itself.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you are cuddling a cat. You put your mouse over and you like cuddle the mouse to move the ball around. By the way, I need to say that it's not true that is worst or really not useful in games, because Kuzerti, and it's not in chat, but he can confirm that. When we were playing Hardcore Quake in LAN, because he's a big rager, like I was also a big rager, we broke a lot of keyboard and mouses back in the days, and mice back in the day. And he didn't have any other mouse, but he had a trackball. And he started grinding the shit out of Quake 3 Arena with the trackball. And when we did a LAN, we were like, what the fuck is this bullshit, dude? Just buy a fucking mouse, what is this? And he had this fucking grin in his face like, yeah, keep trash talking, fuckers. Keep trash talking. And he fucking, well, it didn't wrecked it, but almost wrecked us with the fucking trackpad. It's just, I guess it's just that we are so used to play with a mouse, but...
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, for sure the mouse is more precise, because it's not a giant ball. It's a full mouse that you can move literally pixel by pixel. Meanwhile, with a trackball, it's really hard to do small movements. But
I mean, if you want to do like an arm workout, I mean, you should really try to learn it. Because
yeah, but I guess it's really useful with flying simulator, I guess, or stuff like that, where you don't have a lot of space and you know, you just need to move a little bit the mouse. Like I was thinking, if I will build my driving seat. So I will put the steering wheel, the pedals down, blah, blah, blah. And then instead of the mouse, I want a trackball to be near. So I don't need space to move it. I will just move the ball and it's pretty comfortable, I guess. Not sure.
Yeah, I would really have to try one of those to have a better understanding of how it works. Because I've seen them plenty of times, but I never really tried because they don't look like, oh, use me, I'm comfortable. So that's what, yeah. I have no interest in trying one of those. But what about you, DVD? Did you break anything? Were you a rager? What?
Well, we got a demo of DVD raging yesterday.
That's true.
Well, well, what can I say? I mean,
he's taking his time.
I mean, you probably know that famous Unreal Tournament angry German kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine he's like 30 kilogram heavier, and he has some more hair, and he's playing. Well, what was the game? I think it was CS 1.6.
Of course.
And I was like, "Fuck my ass!" So it was that it was that awful time where players started to really just like camp on a spawn and just spawn kill everything.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, if he kills me one more time after respawn, I just fucking ram my fist right into my monitor or something. And he actually did it. He stood right there the whole time, and you couldn't even move your mouse in his direction to shoot him because he was just like fucking you.
Well, he was camping, so
yeah, he has no balls, so camping is for no balls, guys.
I also have a little story, a little rage story, but I didn't really break a keyboard or a mouse. I broke an entire laptop.
Whoa!
And I think they never really found out the truth because it wasn't even my laptop. It was my father's laptop.
Oh, fuck.
That he used to work.
Oh shit.
And you won't believe the game that I was playing when I broke the laptop, because I was so fucking frustrated that it didn't run correctly. And that was maybe like what, 2010, 2011, so it's not so long ago. But I was really trying to get to play Minecraft. I was really I was like, I want to play this fucking game, I want to build, I want to be creative. And I remember I didn't have a PC at that time, but my father was using that laptop, and he used to let me use it from time to time. And I remember this it was a weekend, and I was all by myself. Everyone was out of the house, and I was trying to load this map, and it didn't work at all. It was like one frame every 10 minutes. I was like, what? I was
just work.
Yeah, just work. And I was doing my fist like this, and I couldn't hold it anymore. So I slammed the left side of the laptop, like
right into the hard disk.
Exactly. And I was like, boom, and the whole laptop went off, and I was like, oh fuck, no, turn on, and it never really turned on again. And then I tried to be cool and don't say anything, because the laptop itself was really crappy. So I made it. He when he came back to the house and tried using it, he was like, okay, what the fuck just happened? Why is it not working? And I was like, I don't know, the laptop is pretty crappy. Maybe it just burned out by itself. And he didn't really find out that it was because I was trying to play Minecraft and I fucking slammed the keyboard. Yeah.
Shit.
I was right with you hit the hard disk because the same happened to me in the same exactly way. I don't remember the game, but I was like, God. I was looking at the laptop and I was like, what I can crash? So I look at the corner, boom, broken, hard disk dead.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Okay, last question, and then I guess the topic is kind of over. And I left this as last. What was the game since now that I don't know? It seems too big of a question, but like that changed your life, a game that you played it and you went, I don't know, like, okay, I love video games, or I see video games in a different way now, or anything like that. Something that really changed, but not changed like, oh no, now I am a fucking smartass, but you know, something that
I think the most influential game for me was, I would say, World of Warcraft. It really changed my way to have fun in games. Like nowadays, I really like PvP games, even though most of the time I'm just playing with friends. I do like that PvP factor, and I know that nowadays, by today's standards, World of Warcraft PvP is not that awesome or anything. But at the time, it was really everyone was so hyped about it, and the way that the game works, all the question system and stuff, it's like it raised the standard in my head. Like every RPG should met that or be better at it, so in order to have fun, right? So it was I think it was a really fun times when I really got to play the game when I was really young, and it made me. I also tried doing a game similar to World of Warcraft, and most of the games that I really tried designing were based on that game. So I think that's a really influential game for me.
Yeah, basically, there is about MMOs, there is pre-Warcraft and after Warcraft. Because after Warcraft, everyone cloned the gameplay. And
Yep.
in my opinion, MMO died after fucking World of Warcraft. But my opinion. So, DVD, what about you? What's your godlike game?
I think that there are several games that are influential to me in a negative and a positive way. Actually, I mean the most negative influential game, I think everybody knows it, the No Man's Sky thing.
Oh shit!
After that, I was like, never pre-order anything. Like,
Nope,
seriously,
never.
never ever. Don't even think about it. Even if it's LBA 3 or something, never ever ever pre-order it. And that was pretty much it. Like, I saw that game. It was boring. It was empty. It was like 1,000 million promises by the devs, and it was just nothing. For full price, I might add. But when it comes to positive influential games, I think the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series was very influential, not only because of the music. It defined my taste of music pretty much. But even as a game, like, the game is not that much, actually. I'm talking about the second game. It's like 8 levels.
Yeah.
And if you play it once, it's not like it's replay value or anything. You saw everything in the game, pretty much.
Very short.
But for me, I can play this game over and over and over and over again, and even though I'm doing the same exact thing over and over again, it's still something fresh, something new. I don't know why, but it feels pretty good.
Probably because every time you start to play it, it's basically impossible that you play the game in the same way. For example, I don't know, let's start with the School 2 level. You start and you do kickflip to crooked grind to board slide and whatever. Then you go to it, play again. You will never do that trick again. You will do an L flip to board slide to something else. So the creativity, I guess, it's really improved by Tony Hawk.
Like there's so much combinations you can do. It's never really gonna be the same, and you can always improve your score, I guess.
Yeah, basically same
Yes.
level, but you play it in a different way. Sorry for interrupting, DVD.
Yeah, no worries. I think you might can compare it to something like a Sims game or something, where you have basically the same exact goal every time, like build a house and find a good job and stuff like that. But the way to that goal is different every time you play the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Tony Hawk games are exactly that. Like you can buy new new tricks. You can pull off new tricks every time. You can basically choose what route to use in through different levels. I don't know. It's just something that is important to me. Like replay value, but not in a way that it's like Skyrim, where you can do like things for 2,000, 3,000 hours. But it's the same exact thing. Like go to that person, talk to him, and he will give you an item and return to me back. That's not real replay value for me.
Yeah.
And another important thing for me personally is a game called A Hat in Time. Maybe you heard about that game.
Hat in Time, yeah, sure.
I heard about it, yeah.
That was one of those games that showed me that you should give indie devs a chance. That changed something in my mind. Like I born up in a period where Blizzard was the big thing, EA was the big thing, Ubisoft was the big thing. But never ever you heard something from an indie developer. Most games back in my childhood were educational games from some independent dev, and those were shit most of the time. Because they couldn't like get some patent or something like that, some IP for some like Lego or Playmobil or I don't know.
Lego. Yeah, I think AAA companies back then had a really good or a much better production value than they have today. Nowadays, you have so many tools and things to do whatever you want to do that you can easily compete with the biggest companies right now. And even if they're big, they're not doing something innovative. You know, they're pretty much trying to get as much cash as possible. So that's a really annoying thing to do. And nowadays, the only thing where you can find real innovation or a new way to play a same genre is by searching indie games from indie devs, because they usually are open to people's suggestions and stuff, and
innovation.
they are not afraid to try new things because they have really nothing to lose. So I guess that's the main difference with old companies.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Well, about me, first of all, fuck you, DVD, you picked up my game. Because Tony Hawk was really one of the first games that literally changed my point of view about video games. Like, it got me into music, it got me into hip-hop world, it got me into skateboard world, so it was really it made a really big change of mind in my life. So yeah, as DVD, Tony Hawk is one of those. But I have two more titles that changed my life. One is Half-Life 1, because before Half-Life 1, every single game that I played, I'm talking about FPS, of course, not any RPG or stuff like that, I was just like, I want to kill every single thing that is moving in this fucking screen. I just want to see blood, I want to see people dying and all that kind of stuff. I wonder why people say video games make you violent. Kappa, of course. But when I discovered Half-Life, I was like, wow, Jesus Christ. I can shoot people, but also I can have a story that drives me into the world. It's not just like, oh, this is demons, kill demons and have bloods and win the game, John Romero. Kinda. But yeah, it was so cool, and I was really near to not play Half-Life because everybody knows the intro to Half-Life, the fucking long walk, the fucking long ride into that.
Yeah, the yellow
the
train or
facility.
whatever.
The fucking train or whatever, and I was staring at the screen like, what is this? What the fuck? It was not even the simulation era, like Rock Simulator or God Simulator. So I was like, what the fuck is this? Why I'm not playing? When I went out of the train, people talking to me, I have no weapon. Where is my FPS? Where the fuck is it? And then suddenly, boom, everything explodes, aliens that you don't know where they come, and really slowly you understand where they came from. You see G-Man and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Because what the fuck? Why is watching me and I can't kill him? And I remember being traumatized when, in the part where I don't remember the name, the fucking police came in the fucking place, and I was like, okay, the cops are here, so we are safe. And they start shooting at the scientist, and I was like, what the fuck? What is happening? Why the fuck is like this? Jesus Christ, kill everyone. And when I finished the game, I was like, wow, this can be, the fucking video game can have a fucking FPS can have a story. And the other game that surprised me is called Little Inferno. I don't know if you guys know the game or ever heard about it.
I don't know it. Let me search for it.
It's I don't even know if it's in the game. I'm pretty sure yes. And imagine that you have how the fuck is called the place with a fire inside the house. I don't remember the English name.
Fire pit?
The fire pit, okay. And all the game is based about you buying with chips, not real money, of course, just in-game currency, buying stuff to burn inside the fire pit. And I played that game as when I was watching videos. So I'm watching a video, meanwhile I'm also playing that game in window web mode, really small. And I was like, this is, you know, those kind of fun games for shitting. You throw stuff in the fire, they burn, you get more money, you burn more stuff like fireworks and stuff. But god fucking damn it, at the end, the fucking fire pit explodes. And there is a gigantic backstory that evolves in 5 minutes. It explains everything. And spoiler, I'm pretty sure that no one wants to play that game anyway. But you, from a point and click, the game transforms into a, you know, a walking simulator. You walk with the arrow keys, and you discover that every single house is doing what you are doing. So you see a lot of chimney throwing out smoke. And everyone is burning stuff into the fire pit, and it's I guess like a dystopic, probably a criticism against consumerism and that kind of stuff. And I was like, dude, I was playing a fucking Java game that you can find on www.shittygames.org. I didn't expect to have a fucking story like this. And it was like, I got traumatized and I almost cried at the end. I was like, you wrecked me, dude. I didn't expect this at all. And that's the other game. Then again, fucking DVD stole Tony Hawk. But it's good.
Yeah, I just checked the game on Steam. It looks really cool. I like the graphics too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But I like the little twist at the end. I just saw a little video.
Because the people that review the game are fucking asshole, aka fucking good people, and no one spoiled and made a spoiler about anything. I expected a shitty game, and they gave me a good game, and I was, fuck off. I didn't want to have a story, but okay. That's pretty cool. Suggested. I spoiled you something, but I made a spoiler, but it's pretty chill, I guess.
Yeah, in terms of Half-Life, I think we all can relate to some game where we played through that and we thought that is the best game ever. Like, there's nothing that can beat this in the future. Like Half-Life is from what? From 98?
98 to 99, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and many of my colleagues back then grew up with the N64 and played like Super Mario 64 and Shadow Man and Banjo-Kazooie. And they were like, this specific game is the best game ever. Nothing can stop that. Nothing can beat that in some way. That was before the graphics went like mainstream or something like that. And yeah, what I wanted to say is Half-Life is one of those games, actually. Never beat it alone. I played the Sven co-op mod with a good friend of mine, and I was like, dude, this game is pretty awesome. And
Half-Life is really good, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like, even though it's kind of annoying at times when you try to play the game, because if you already know the game and the story, you just want to skip all the first 15 minutes of talking and the ride. But I think that's a good way to let you know you're really getting into something with the story, and you're kind of understanding as you go by what's happening around you and what you can expect from the game. Apart from just to give an example, like nowadays everything is just like battle royale, and you just go down and kill everything you see, and then also, I mean, you don't have a real purpose. You just do it because you do it, right?
Yeah.
And those games, and Half-Life in particular, you know you're going down there because you have to do something. I mean, it's kind of an unfair comparison, but it's just to prove my point that sometimes you don't need a really, I don't know, like an awesome graphics or maybe good mechanics. Yeah, that's really important too. But I think nowadays a game with a good story is lacking. Like most of the people only want to play arena games, and that's it.
And before
But Half-Life,
before Half-Life 3 will be a battle royale.
I really hope it doesn't. But I mean, I do enjoy. I don't want to trash talk actual games, like, because I do enjoy sometimes playing something like a no-brainer, you know, like just go in and kill everything, and yeah, just it's a nice way to relax, I guess. But sometimes I just want to get in and dive into a story and understand why am I following these guys as the main character. And old games like early 2000 games did it great. They did a great job at doing a really rich story with good characters and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that back then, like in the N64 era or the PlayStation era, they had limited resources. No, they can't bring the consoles to a higher value than it already is.
Yeah.
The limitations of the consoles are a big thing, actually, and they had to do something like good music or good story, good characters.
Exactly.
And today, well,
like they couldn't rely on graphics really. So
Yeah.
I think all the effort went into a good story and some good music and something like that.
yeah, it's like the opposite of, like, I don't know, like Crysis or something. The graphics is great, but the game is total shit.
Yeah.
So, but Crysis is one of the better games, I guess, in the mainstream, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think it's boring, it's tedious, it's shit.
Yeah, no,
I don't
same
know.
opinion. But that's why I'm not really a fan of any company right now. But if I really need to say I am a fan of a company, I will stick with Valve, because every single fucking time they traumatized me with Half-Life. Like, if I think about Half-Life 1, everyone was doing shoot and have fun games, like shoot everything that moves. Meanwhile, Half-Life, boom, I give you a story, motherfuckers. Now it's not just killing, we give you a story. Then everyone went, okay, you want a story, we give you a story. And then Half-Life 2 came out and they said, fuck off, we are gonna give you a good physics. Now you can move objects in a realistic way, you can throw barrels at enemies, like throw an explosive barrel, shoot him, explodes, bodies will fly around. And I remember after Half-Life 2, Max Payne 2 was with the ragdolls, and Painkiller had the fucking ragdolls and everything got that. And now if I think about Half-Life Alyx, they fucking got me again. Valve every time gets me, because while everyone is doing, well, they are not really shitty, but if I think about VR games, what the fuck do you really have? You have Super Hot, that is actually a PC game, but converted for VR. You have Roller Coaster Simulation, then you have Go Underwater Simulation, a fucking dinosaur screaming at your face simulator. But they are not really fucking game. They are not really fucking game. A few other games that, okay, they are scary, but fuck you, I'm wearing a headset, I see full fucking black, and if you scream at my face and it's not even a monster, I will get scared. Okay, nice job, what do you want? And suddenly Valve,
cheap jump scares.
Yeah, and then Valve, bam, I give you a full game, a full fucking game with a full story and everything that is not Half-Life 3. Please, Valve, give me Half-Life 3, please. But Jesus, they changed the fucking the scenario again. Now, if you do a shitty game on VR, it's gonna be a shitty game. Same as when Half-Life 1 came out. You need to beat Half-Life 1 or it's gonna be a shitty game. Half-Life 2, beat Half-Life 2. You always get the cup for a video game. Then again, we can talk about the card game that Valve made. We can talk about Dota and other bullshit, but you know, I will stick with Half-Life.
They're just experimenting with all today's standards. And the thing you said about VR games, I think most of them feel like it's just for testing purposes. Like they're trying new ways to make it work, to make it more realistic. So they give you all these demos to really make up for it. But there are really few games that are full, as you said. But it still feels like it's missing something, right? Even though I've never tried them. Maybe I will try them one day with the full VR headset and I will be blown. My mind will be fucked. But all that I see now is just a bunch of demos. Try this, test this. This is a new way to experience it, and there's nothing really of value as it is right now. Like imagine playing a game like when Half-Life 1 released. It's something similar, right? But with today's standards in VR. So it could be something really good if they do it right.
Yeah. I guess another problem that we fucking boomers have is that we were born when video game really discovers something new, basically. I'm not saying every month, but kinda. Like, think about how the fucking game industry went good in really technically short time, even if it's years. Like, in the beginning, we had these fucking 2D models in Doom that if you run around him, he's always facing at you and you can't watch his back.
It's a sprite.
Suddenly, boom, you can jump. Boom, you can double jump. You can strafe. You can dash. You have superpowers. And I feel like right now we live in a world where it's really hard to invent something new. But
yeah, true.
In my opinion, it's not about making something new, but making something different, I guess. If you do something different, you totally will produce a fucking good game. I guess. What's your idea?
Yeah, I think... Oh, well. Anson,
Go
go
for
for
it.
it.
No,
Go for
DVD.
it, Anson.
Uh,
Okay.
Go DVD, talk!
I think a big problem is that like you can see it basically since 2015. Many games are sequels,
Mhm.
remakes, remasters,
Retextured.
and yeah,
HD
retextured,
edition.
reimagined,
Enhanced.
reforged.
No, don't
Oh!
go there. Ah.
Ouch!
I did it.
You said it.
And I
Wait
think
a second, guys. When we are going to announce that this Blizzard topic, get ready because we are gonna get banned from Twitch.
Yeah.
With that said, keep talking, DVD.
And
Imagine
think,
how much is down there waiting
Yeah.
to talk about it. That it
Yeah.
comes every single time, every
Pretty-
5 minutes, it's like fucking Blizzard.
it's tough. It's tough to withstand actually. But I think a big thing about all those sequels and remakes and remastered, not reforged, is that we older gamers already played the original game, so it's nothing new to us personally, and they can't change the game like all around.
Mhm.
Like you want to play a Warcraft 3 reforged, and and it's like a first person shooter or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's the same exact name, but it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
So they can't really do anything besides new models, new cutscenes that won't appear in the finished game, but you know.
This is so sad.
Jesus Christ.
It's like you can only do so much with remasters. Like
Yeah.
unless you really build the game from scratch and try to have a different approach, but with the same story and the same main flow of the progression of the story itself, it's like really hard to bring something new apart from upgrading all the old things to today's standards. So it's I don't think, I mean, they're not bad at all. Like there are, for example, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition was a really good remaster. I think it's really nice. They fixed most of the problems, but it's pretty much the same. It's the same game, but they kind of released some new stuff
Mhm.
that most old people or old gamers they are not gonna relate to that because it's an addition to an old game. So
Yeah.
it's more like it feels more like an expansion than a remaster.
Yeah.
I would say. So I guess if you're part of the hashtag no changes team, like I don't want to be purist like that. Like I'm open to have some new mechanics or changes to the remastered games. But the more you add and the more you try to change and upgrade to today's standards, the more you walk away from that original
Mhm.
game, right? So that's why I don't consider themselves like this is the original game, but in higher resolution. This is just feels like an expansion more than anything else.
Yeah, but also
Yeah,
they made a lot
sorry.
of. No, don't worry. They made the opposite problem. They made the opposite mistake also because, and I will feel DVD arts breaking inside when I'm saying this. When I heard about fucking Tony Hawk Remastered, not the last one that is coming out, the previous one, Tony Hawk HD, I guess, or 2X, something like that. Okay, I didn't really want anything special in that case. As I say, I'm not in the hashtag no changes, but there's nothing that you can do to ruin Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. You take the game, you remaster all the texture to be a really bit modern, you know, pretty clean, the lights, everything. You release the game, I swear to God I will give you my money, I swear. these fucking cunts changed all the fucking physics because it's better like this. It will work better like this. Oh, we are in 2018. What the fuck? I don't remember when it came out. And it fucking ruined the game. Like, it's a basic game, Jesus Christ. You can't fail. Even me, that I can barely I can barely turn on the computer. I can do a better job. Take the texture, HD, make it better, change something, release the game. But no, let's make changes because we need to make it modern for new kids. So we add the new skill that you press a button and your skater will magically go down really fast even if it's flying 10 feet up in the air. And you can't fall from grinds and all the tricks are easy. Even if you are doing a 900, you can do it in a 2-stair set. What the fuck? What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
This is actually what I wanted to say pretty much.
Yeah, I could see your neck vein popping out while Mike was talking.
Well, I was going to say that remastering a game is a very high risk. As you said, you can't change much. You can try to change the whole engine of the game, and it can work, but it doesn't work anytime. Like in Tony Hawk's HD, it feels slow, it feels terrible. Don't forget the $30 revert trick DLC.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
That's just fucking stupid. But when you change the engine for a game, for example, for an N64 game, which natively works on like 15 FPS, or 20 or 18, I don't know.
I don't even remember.
Then you run a high risk of just like alienating your old, like all the boomer players, because maybe, I don't know, like playing your childhood game in 60 FPS and 4K resolution is just not what your like nostalgia is going to like, right?
Yeah, and not only,
sure.
even new gamers will not fucking buy the game because it's shit. So you don't have the old boomers, but you don't even have the zoomers. You take nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like
much.
lose. I think the way to go is maybe do a second release of the game. Like, for example, take StarCraft. Like they have like original StarCraft 1, and then they did StarCraft 1 Remastered. That's pretty much the same, just higher resolution. And then they did StarCraft 2 with today's standards, but it's pretty much the same game with some changes and you know. I think that's better than doing the same game and trying to upgrade it. You just go for, like, I don't know, if you have like Doom 3, do Doom 4, and that's it. You know, don't try to do Doom 3 remastered or reforged, because it's not gonna be the same. Even though you try it, it's gonna feel different.
Yeah. Another example for this. I'm a member from the Turok community since day one, pretty much. And they released a remastered of the first and the second game in like 2016 and 18 or 17, I don't know. And the game were on N64 and they were slow. You had distance fog. It was not pleasant to play, basically. And they put their engine on that, so the game is fast paced now. You can do jumps that wouldn't be able otherwise. And they actually changed the levels itself, and that was one of the things that was not that great for many players who played the game on N64, because the game is now way more linear, and you don't have to walk like off the path for like 20 minutes to find some things you need in order to play or to beat the game. So that's like a mixed kind of opinion on a remastered.
Yeah. So, guys, we fucking trash talked for 1 hour and 53 minutes. I didn't expect that.
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah, almost 2 hours. And when we were talking in Discord, it was like, oh, well, maybe, we will do 1 hour and 15 minutes. There's nothing much to say, fucking Jesus Christ. At this pace, we can talk for 3 hours without stopping.
Yeah.
And also, I'm impressed that we didn't went too far away from the topic. We got it pretty good. But I want to ask chat. So, did you like it? What you saw? I mean, we got Ansin. Sorry, I can't do shit about it.
Wait until I get with the mic again.
Yeah, we got lucky that the fucking microphone didn't went full ear rape. But what do you think? Do you like it? Because we got this idea one day in DVD stream. We were talking and we shit talked for what 2 hours.
Like
I don't even remember.
Especially Blizzard, especially.
Oh well, that day the topic was Blizzard, but when we talked that, I was like, okay, I'm 100% sure that we can talk about all the video games, because we didn't just trash talk Blizzard. Actually, that day we were talking a little bit about everything. Then we went into Blizzard and we went full toxic, but but you know.
But Mike, don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, everyone has phones, right?
Headphones.
Don't you fucking answer? No, I don't. Even Hippocat, actually. I imagine like the guy from Blizzard. Don't you guys have phones? And Hippocat throwing a fucking patch in the face of the guy. Shut up, Bliet! I hate phones.
They even had one of the oldest.
And your microphone is that, dude. I can't hear you.
But without ear raping, though.
What?
Your microphone was silent. We didn't have your last quote. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I said they even had the oldest one of the oldest members of Blizzard to go out and say it because they thought it was gonna be less painful, but it was like more awkward than ever.
Are you talking about that guy that went into the microphone and said, "Is this some kind of early joke, April
Like
Fool
some
joke?"
That guy was pissed. You could tell. He was about to throw something at the guy.
But yeah, pretty much. It was not rocks. It was just an off-season April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
So inside he was screaming like, "Please tell me this is a fucking joke. I will fucking."
Please tell me you are releasing Warcraft 4. This is a fucking joke. You are not making a mobile game, right? Give me the cops holding him. Give me my fucking game.
Dude, that guy is a fucking hero.
Yeah. But okay, I don't want to start the Blizzard topic. I will just say that that's the kind of fun that I like it. A guy that really loves Blizzard, but is like, dude, you are joking with me. You are really making me really mad right now. Yeah, I can't support you anymore. That is basically what I did with Activision. Basically.
True.
So, I guess it's over. Wow, there was a lot of people watching actually. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
We are not just gamer. We can also talk for 2 hours straight. Best podcast ever. Rate us 5 out of 5. Give us money, please. We have families.
100 out of 10.
Yes. So I want to thank DVD and Ansin. You want to say something before stopping everything?
Fuck Blizzard.
I was about to say that too.
We need your outro, Mike, with that circle stuff and that loud music, and
Yeah.
you're like, fuck Blizzard. Stone-faced fuck Blizzard.
Fuck Blizzard. I don't have the scene right now. I would have done that.
Oh shit.
I have another outro for this. So, Ansin, what about you? Any final quote?
Yeah. I mean, jokes aside, this was really fun to make. It's like a nice way to talk about video games without being so what do you say? Like most of the time we're doing just banter talk and jokes and shit. But I think this really a great timing. And yeah, this is really fun, and I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, same here. I really loved it. It was really cool. We were kinda nervous. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of was a little bit nervous. As I said, I was more nervous for the podcast than for the marathon with 2K people watching, actually, because it's, talking is really hard in internet, and if you say something that someone doesn't like it, it went a shitstorm and you are basically dead. So, but yeah, really a fucking pleasure, guys. So thank you, DVD. Thank you, Ansin.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks.
And see you next week with another topic that I will not spoil. I will not do a spoiler because we actually didn't think what to do next week. So we need to choose a topic.
Oh yeah, and if somebody of the viewers have some topics we should talk about, then just hit us up on Discord.
Yeah. Tell us any topic that you want us to talk about, or shit talk about, or trash talk about, like Blizzard fucking bull. I'm joking.
You don't have to call out Blizzard because we will shit talk Blizzard in any way possible.
Yeah, the two topics that you are not allowed to suggest us is Blizzard or GDQ, because we already have those two topics, and it's gonna take a while to talk about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you, chat, for being so cute today. I told you that it was not just my stream, but our stream for me and DVD, and even that other cunt from Peru. I'm joking. So yeah, see you with the podcast. See you next week. Wait. DVD and Ansin, do you have any stream in program? Just spam yourself.
Yeah, I'm streaming like from Monday to Friday every day. I'm doing GTA San Andreas, but it's like I think it's too late for everyone here in chat because you have European time. So it's like 4 p.m. GMT -5. So maybe that's like 11 p.m. for you. But yeah, there.
I don't know if you guys saw the poll. I'm pretty sure French Star did it. But people can choose between next topic is speedrun marathons or marathon speedruns. Wow, nice topic, guys.
Amazing topic.
10 out of 10.
Good one.
What about you, DVD? Are you going to stream these days?
I try to stream when I can, but nowadays with Corona and stuff, my job is pretty hard. So I stream when I can, but I can't promise something.
So yeah, follow these two fuckers /DVD_01 and /Ansin, please. I mean, don't follow Ansin, he's just a fucking idiot. No, I'm joking. Follow them. The names that I put on the screen are the names for Twitch. So follow them, give it a follow. And okay, now this is really the end. Thank you again, DVD. Thank you again, Ansin. And with the podcast, see you next week, we hope. And have a great time, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Yep.